Hi, this is David, and I guess I opened a can of worms. I hope they're worms. It might be worse than worms. With my last video, I've always been honest with you. In my mind, now maybe things are not what I say they are. You might look at the same fact pattern and go, hey, that's not what I see. That's the way the Mormons are. You know, they think that having 14-year-old wives is a good idea. I don't. My brother does. So anyway, I don't want to get into any kind of family bullshit, okay? I am saying my family sucks. Every person in my family has shunned me, and every person that I've given birth to, other than my wonderful son Dan, my wonderful daughter Rachel, and my son Stephen, has repented and has been decent, since he's called me all kinds of names. And of course my two kids now, Allison and Abigail. And my wonderful daughter Nicole, we don't have a close relationship, but there's no reason for that. We're just distant. And my daughter Michelle, I had one conversation with her that was about 4 hours, and it wasn't favorable to the Mormon Church, and she hasn't talked to me since. That's okay too. The point I was making in my last video, and I think it's very, very well deserved, is if your family criticize you, if they laugh at you, if they say you're an idiot, a fool, you're ugly, you'll never amount to anything, that your education is worthless, that you're stupid, you're not funny, God, 65,000 of you, I think, are going to agree with me. My brother doesn't. That's okay. He can believe what he wants to believe. But you know what? I have a right to believe what I believe. Now, I have to be honest with you. I've told you for over a year, I never erase comments. I just did. I guess my brother saw that. It's the middle of the night in the Philippines, I think. But anyway, he saw that, and he just wrote some Mormon type stuff. And he's my brother. And it was crap. I have a right to erase it. But I am never going to get on this tube and lie to anybody about anything I've seen or done. I think the reason that some people watch me is they go, hey, you know, I don't agree with the guy, but God, you know, he does. He believes what he's saying. And most of what I'm saying is my own experience. How can I be wrong reporting my own experience? So I want to be honest with you. There were two comments from my brother from the Philippines, and I thought they were rude. I thought that they were self-serving, and I deleted them, and then I blocked his ass. Never done it before. Out of 65,000 of you, I've never taken one of your comments off, and I've never blocked you. But my crazy brother, I just blocked. Now here's what angers me the most. It doesn't bother me that he says, you know, that I'm an ass, that I'm a liar. None of these things are true. In my mind, and what's been reported to me on good evidence throughout life, they're true. It pisses me off that I started my YouTube program for therapy. It was just my therapy. I really enjoyed just sitting in front of the camera. I've been in counseling 3 or 4 times, and it did some good. The counselors all committed suicide. No, they didn't. They should have. I started to commit suicide after counseling when I realized what an ass I was. Anyway, he started a couple of websites. Now, I can't tell you, if you've never been to a third world country, what it's like. I was in the Philippines not quite a year with my family, and adopting the kids and going to court and getting permission to adopt the kids as a foreigner and all that stuff. I've been in squatters' camps in the Philippines. Number one, they're filthy. There is no trash pickup, basically, in the Philippines. And people throw all their bags, all their cartons of milk, all of their garbage, everything into the streets. And the pigs eat some of the food stuff, wasted food. There's not much wasted food in the Philippines because a lot of people are starving. Now, in a squatter's camp, many of them do not have electricity. All of them don't have any flush toilets. There's no such thing. You crap in the ground, pee in the ground, and the water table is like 12 or 14 inches. So when an American gets there and we drink the water, my God, we have diarrhea for days. Real bad diarrhea. Diarrhea I can't explain. Now, they're also lean-to little houses. They're made out of cardboard, blankets, tarpaulins. It's much, much worse than a campsite in the United States. It's difficult to get clean water, and it's difficult to get food, and no one has a car. No one has any transportation other than tricycles. And a tricycle is a motorcycle that you can put 12 people on. There's a joke in the Philippines, how many more Filipinos can you get on a tricycle? And the answer is, one more. I've been there. I've seen it. It rains about every 35 or 40 minutes. Mud is everywhere. Pollution is everywhere. These tricycles and jeepneys that they ride on are filthy inside and out, and bald tires and the cord showing on the tires, and people hanging on to the bar up above not to fall off, and 7 or 8 on the outside hanging on, and 2 or 3 on the roof. In fact, I saw one bus go by that had a damn couch on the roof and about 12 people sitting on the couch. That's the family room. So anyway, I'm just going to say what I've seen, what I've experienced. Now, my brother, he's a few years younger than I am. I'm almost 65. He must be 62 or 63. He has many, many ideas about making money in the Philippines, okay? Everything that he has tried, he has failed at, but not in his mind. Not in his mind, okay? When you throw your passport away and you don't have a passport in a foreign country, you're screwed. You're screwed. When you change your name from your passport name, you're screwed. When you try to get a driver's license and they ask for identification, you're screwed, even in the Philippines. And if you ride a motorcycle or a car, a motorcycle mostly around, without a license, you'll get stopped by the police, who are terribly corrupt. They want to see your ID, and you're an American, so you're a good target for getting money from. They'll put you in jail. He doesn't have an attorney. He doesn't have any money to get out of jail. And thank God the Philippines have 7,000 islands. He's been on 6,999. He moves from island to island when he gets the shit going in the community. Now, he's a wonderful man in many ways. He's kind, he's compassionate, and he does share his little bit of money that he gets with some of the hungry children, and buys them clothing and rice and those kinds of things. And that's wonderful. That's wonderful. He has started a business, again, I can't tell you how many businesses this man has started, and none of them have flourished, okay? Because he's bipolar. He doesn't realize how normal people respond to the way he markets. He has one business on the internet, and the first sentence says on the business, the first thing you have to do is send me $500. I told him, I said, that ain't gonna fly. I said, you have to sell yourself a little bit and show your background and your experience, and then lure a person in to want your business. Oh, no. That's, okay, the numbers will tell. They have... What's wrong with zero? Because you don't say in your first sentence of a new business, you need to send me $500. That makes a lot of us suspicious. Well, one of the reasons that I deleted him was not because of the shit. You know me better than that. You know, I take all kinds of shit from Mormons, and I'll take it from my family. But the thing that pisses me off is he's very good at the computer. He can make websites and that kind of stuff, because when you're in the Philippines, you've got nowhere to go and nothing to do, and you can sit in front of a computer 24/7. And he's made up these websites. Well, they've been failures. All of them. Every one of them has been a failure. And he sees he sees the hits that I'm getting, and I'll have 70,000 in 1 year. And I don't know, is that good or not? I'm just shocked, because I didn't think anybody would like me, because no one in my family likes me. So I just thought, they're like regular people. No one's going to like me. Well, his comments that I deleted, he put his websites on it. Now that pisses me off. Let me tell you why. He called me when he was creating his detective agency. I don't know how many American detectives with no ID, with no experience, with no advertising other than the internet are going to hire this man. But he thought that they were. So he said to me, why don't you put my name and my websites on your YouTube? And I said, well, the reason I didn't say this, that you're crazy, and I don't want to look stupid like you. I should have told him the truth, but I lied. I simply said, you know, Randy, in some ways I've earned my audience. They trust me, and I try very hard to be loyal to them. That's why I'm on this video right here, because I told you I've never deleted. I did tonight. 2 comments that he put in, and then I blocked his ass. And it's not because he criticized me. That was not my motivation. Anyone can criticize me, and family members, they can do videos, they can come on. I don't erase any hateful things from Mormons or my family, which are the same thing. But when he said, you need to put my websites on your YouTube, well, I knew he was trying to make money off of what I've worked hard for. And he makes fun of my education, he makes fun of me, and he lives in a squatter's camp, and, you know, if they catch him, he'll be in a Filipino prison the rest of his life. And I didn't think it was fair. I didn't think it was fair for him to talk out one side of his mouth and say, well, you're an idiot, no one likes you, and then on the other side, geez, you're getting a lot of hits, can you put me on your site? I don't like that. That's disingenuous. That's a person who is narcissistic, and that's a person who basically is going to use me. And I've been used my whole life. I have kids. And 5 ex-wives, so I've been really used. In fact, I'm almost worn out now that I think about it. Anyway, I want to be honest with you. I erased his crap because he's just trying to grandize himself. And in his own mind, I watched his websites, and eventually he took them off. He took them off because it was so humiliating that no one was interested in his bullshit. Now, this man is a wonderful, he's probably the best keyboard person I have ever met in my life. He's brilliant with music. Years ago, when I was in my early 20s, I wanted to be his manager. Well, with a bipolar person off of medications, they don't want a manager. They're a one-man band. And he's composed thousands of songs that are beautiful. And when he plays the keyboard, you've died and gone to the celestial kingdom, which doesn't exist, but you get my point. Well, what's happened with his music? He was, his morality, let's say, is very similar to Joseph Smith. And in the Philippines, there's no divorce. And every girl thinks that an American can take her back to the United States and get her out of that filth and squalor. Well, he takes advantage of that. And some of these Now I'm going to try to be, he can't sue me, he's got no money, he's got no citizenship, but I want to be kind. I want to be kind. He's lost his music more than one time, 2 or 3 times. He has taken advantage of some of these girls, and I'm not going to mention how old they are, but I'm going to let you imagine how old these girls are that are desperate. And when they find out he is as poor as a church mouse and can't even bring him back because he's got no passport, they get pissed. And their dads get pissed. And they drive him out of town, and they keep his pianos and his keyboards and all of his music, and, you know, he's screwed. Well, that's happened 2 or 3 times. That's why he goes from island to island. Once, you know, the cat is out of the bag, that he is not a viable an American to take a girl back, they all split, and the girls keep his shit. Well, he doesn't see it that way. He doesn't see it that way. I mean, he's right now building a house on his girlfriend's parents' land. And he can't take her back, and she's just discovered it here in the last year or so. And she's going to marry another American, his best friend. And he thinks that the parents are not going to kick him off of that property. No meds? No idea. So I'm not going to be used by him or by a bishop or by a wife or by a child. I am myself. I want to be myself, and I want to be honest. And when I say something, I've read it, I've seen it, I've experienced it, and I believe it. And others don't. And I certainly want to be honest. Others don't. But the kinds of hits that I've been getting, and God, I'm up to, I don't know, 40, maybe 50 comments a day. I mean, I have to come up here 2 or 3 times a day to get rid of 10, 15, 19, and see your comments and see, you know, kind of what response I'm getting. And it's growing. And I'm shocked. And thank you. Thank you, because it helps me break out of my family's ideas about me. And when they can't control me, then they make fun of me, and they lie, and they say other kinds of things. I do have an education from BYU. One of your comments was, how can you bash BYU and thank them for your education? Well, because both are true. BYU was not a school that got me out of the cult. I was still inside the cult. But I did get an education, a bachelor's degree in social work and child development and family relations, and it was a stepping stone to get into Northeastern State University and a stepping stone to get into Springfield College. Well, I can criticize BYU because it's true. They're a cult-owned and cult-developed university. But I didn't pay full tuition. I was a member of the church back then, and the church has a way of perking members at BYU, and they paid about 70% of my tuition, and I paid the rest. Those 2 facts are true. They're independent of each other, but you know, when Mormons make comments, they'll say, oh, you said it was 9,998 videos, and all I could find was the 9,997. So you're lying. If you lie about the video number, you're lying about everything else. That's Mormon thing. So anyway, I want to be honest with you. You know, he'll throw monkeys and banana peels at his skin. But you know what? He has a right to get on his own show, on his own computer. I'm not stopping that. I mean, I've given him more advertisement right here than he's ever had. So let him say what he wants to say on his own program. But he is putting on comments, and then under the comments are all of his 3 or 4 shows. Or not shows, websites. And he's trying to use my people to see his websites and try his websites. I don't think that's fair. Let him advertise. Let him market. Let him spend his time. Let him be made fun of. And let him earn the audience that he earns. And every time he starts something, he gets, you know, 100 hits or 200 hits in a year. And usually they're my mom and 2 of his friends. So I just wanted to be honest. I wanted to tell you the truth. And why? Because he's using me. Not because he's criticizing me, but he's using me. And so when other people use my comment section self-serving for themselves. And every one of his websites is send me money, send me money. Well, he has a right to do that, but he doesn't have a right to come on to my show into the comment section and say, well, he's an idiot and you guys can look at these. No. Let him produce his own YouTube. Let him produce. Let him produce. I've been used a lot. And I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, and I'm tired of being used. So, he can do it himself. And so if I ever erase comments again, I will tell you. But the hundreds or the thousands of comments that I've got, you are welcome to go through. Some are Mormons, some are not Mormons, some are ex-Mormons, some are Mormons wanting to get out of their church. There's some people that bear their testimony. I don't put any of those away and slant what I'm saying to you. I'm just saying to you what's happened to me, what I've read, what I've seen, what I feel, and I'm just delivering that. I'm not encouraging people to leave the Mormon church. I'm simply saying, this is what happened to me. If it's happening to you, then, you have to make your own decision of what you're going to do. So, if any of you send me websites or, other crap trying to, horn in? I think it's horning in. I don't know. I am so out of date. I'm like a stamp. If you take my picture, it's valuable. You can take it into Pawn Stars. That's one of my Criminal Minds. Pawn Stars. And I love the swamp guys. Those damn alligators. You couldn't get me to go in those little shit boats and put in an 800-pound alligator. I'd rather be a Mormon. I'd rather be a Mormon.